Hey guys, Troy Dooley, the Beachside CEO with the TalkGigs.com, TalkGigs.news live. Man, I'm having fun. We're at the beach. My girls are coming out here today, meeting a lot of other girls. They're going to do a Bible study after they hang out and play. Hey, today's episode is brought to you by Pecan Jacks. I tell you what, if you guys are interested, this is a great little franchise. This family, I've known this family for years. They're local here in the Emerald Coast, and they really are rocking it out. They have, matter of fact, I just finished up my little thing of praline pecan. They've got a bourbon praline pecan out of this world. So if you're on the beach and you just want some ice cream, go to Pecan Jacks. If you're looking for a business opportunity, they do have an awesome franchise opportunity, affordable for the Main Street entrepreneur. I want to look at some of the stuff that we have going on this week. It's really been pretty cool. If you guys know it, but Blake Mullins, who's the president over at Prove It, was one of the founders of Isalis. Last year during the California fires, him and his family lost everything. If you go over to YouTube, over onto the Direct Sales News channel, Blake has a podcast called Shift. And this week's episode, he's talking about coming back out of the ashes and what it means to be able to do that. Because I don't think some of us can't even imagine. I've been through a lot of hurricanes, but even that's different than a fire. And Blake was right in the middle of it. He got his family to safety. Then he was up there trying to help out. And it's kudos. I've known him for a long time, broke a lot of bread with him over the years. And I was devastated to see, but I loved his tenacity to pay it forward. He wasn't just helping himself, he was out there helping his neighbors. That's pretty powerful. Nature's Sunshine wins a Stevie Award for sustainability efforts. This is a big deal. And like, if you take the politics out of this and you just look at sustainability, I think that all of us that are human beings can realize, hey, we need to do something. Living here at the beach during the oil spill, we had guys out here all the time just doing anything they can to clean up the beach. We'll go down the road and we'll move turtles out of the way. I've got one of my partnerships, and that's what we look at is sustainability. And I think it's good when companies are really looking at how can we do better, in the way we go. Amway was named the Skin Cancer Foundation Corporate Council Bronze Ally. A lot of times, companies that are using a direct sales and network marketing type of a comp plan, people want to talk negative. And I tell you what, there's companies out there that because of their research, lives get to be changed. Longevity was like that. Dr. Wallach, man, pushed and pushed and pushed to get approval from one of his ingredients with the FDA. We don't see that a lot because once that happens, everybody can use it. But man, there's some rocking guys out there. Sunrider, an old company here, debuted a new 1,000-foot experience center in China, and it'll be utilized for product trials, leadership training, connection with the authorized business owners over there, and it's within 10 minutes of the company's manufacturing base. I pulled this for news because I want to talk about tariffs for a minute. A lot of people are saying, Troy, companies are going belly up because they're not going to be able to afford the products and stuff. This can be about. We're also going to see companies moving operations into countries and manufacturing there where they're at. They're going to start building, I think, larger manufacturing sales opportunities there than what we see here. It's just the nature of the beast. doTERRA expands into Kazakhstan. They officially launched with an event at the Palace of the Republic. They had over 800 people that actually attended there. That's pretty cool, too. We're seeing U.S. companies expand. Again, you've got to look at how do you survive in a worldwide economy. And a lot of people talk about nationalism, and I think everybody realizes how patriotic I am, but I also think they've got to realize, hey, that we've got a lot of people in all kinds of countries, and we're all connected. So if you're going to be building your business, you may be looking to build your business outside trying to call me. That's going to just be part of what we're looking at. So we want to grow the economy in America. I'm going to talk about the economy here in a second, but it's powerful what we're seeing. Hey, the CMN Hospital, um, they're an advanced alternative cancer treatment in Mexico. They're a treatment center down there. I was on their website this week, and it was pretty cool to see one of their, and I'm not going to get this right. Some of you can write in the comments about all this, but one of the regimens after somebody comes there for cancer treatment, maybe even beforehand, is to use Asante Organic products. They're buying these from Asante Organics, and they're having them shipped into Mexico. They're using their greens and their reds, from what I could tell. They may have other products that they're using, but Michael Winiger and Danny Winiger over there, they've rocked this thing out with what they're doing. I think it's pretty cool to really see what Michael and Danny's doing, and that their products that they put together are being pushed. They're a small company compared to a lot of them, based out of Phoenix. I thought that was pretty awesome right there. This next week, I'm going to be covering a little bit deeper the iMarkets Live. They've changed their name this last year, but we know them as IML or iMarkets Academy. They just got in trouble with the Nevada regulators and the FTC. This has been a 6-year investigation, and it's going to be interesting. I'm going to cover that. I want to look at something, though. We've had a lot of people lately talking about the economy. How's the economy going to affect the gig economy, whether that's network marketing, influencer marketing? I don't care what it is. And I want to talk about that for a minute, because by the end of 2025, 50% of the US workforce is estimated to be 1099 workers of some kind. They call them statutory non-employees. That can be a somebody in the gig economy. It can be called a freelancer, a rabbit tasker. These are all titles within the niches and the industries. But when we look at what the economy's doing, the government numbers, the official numbers that we see, have not caught up yet. So your gig economy, this 50, almost 50%. Right now, it's 36% of the workforce right now are classified 1099 employees. And that really surged 90% in 2023. It just exploded. So when we look at what the economy is doing, and we see that right now we've had a 0.3% retraction in the economy, in the GDP. And people say, "Oh my gosh, is that something to worry about?" Well, during the Obama's first 100 days, it was a negative 4%. During Biden's administration, it was a plus 8%. So I don't think it's a major deal. And when I look at the numbers overall, we're still averaging about 4%, and you can do that from 2000 to 2025. We've not seen a big uptick. Even the inflation rate, in 2000, the inflation rate was 3.4%. Right now, we're hovering somewhere, it looks like, around 2.4%. So where's it going to be? Last year it was at 8%. But this also doesn't take into effect that there are many families now raising their own eggs, raising their own chicken, not raising their eggs, raising chicken, eating eggs. They're doing different stuff. It goes back to what my brother Jeff Welch talks about. He's a homesteader. He's up in North Carolina, and he's been teaching me a lot about how a lot of Main Street entrepreneurs that live in the rural area are starting to have a lot of sustainability on their own. So when you guys start to see the numbers, and you wonder, do we got to worry about this in network marketing, direct sales, affiliate marketing? No, but I do think you need to understand what market that you're in. And you need to understand, if you think that network marketing is the greatest opportunity in America today, which I believe at one time it probably was. I've made a lot of money in that business. But today, with half of the workforce doing some type of a gig economy job, doing some type of a self-employed type deal, then obviously people see the passion behind it, but they don't see the need to be just in direct sales. And I think that's the key. Let's look at some of this stuff real quick that affects the economy and affects you. We know that a 1099 employee is going to be an MLM, network marketing, affiliate marketing, direct to consumer, influence marketing. This is a given. However, there's also another branch of this called content entrepreneurs. Then some of you guys may crisscross over into this. The drop ship marketing, master reseller, private label, course sellers, digital and live events. These are all 1099 type of things that people are doing. Some are small, some are large. To get into the gig economy, the barrier of entry can be small or large. And we've got to get our narrative correct if you want to continue to see your business grow and your teams grow. From a lower end, you've got the MLM, the affiliate, dropship, Uber Eats, Lyft, anything like that. Some people would even say, hey, my Airbnb had low barrier of entry because I was already having the house. But then we've got high barrier of entries as well. We've got the technology industry that a lot of these guys need an education. You've got the medical field. A lot of the medical field now are 1099. They're traveling nurses. They're traveling dental surgeons. I just had an interview with a guy that I'm doing a lot of work for him, and that's the way that works. We also see rental and vacation Airbnbs. That's a little higher at entry to try to be able to get into this stuff. So as you guys are out there building the business, as you're growing to build your business bigger, you need to understand the old narrative of MLM, network marketing. Um, it's the only way to go. It's the easiest way to go. It gives you residual revenue without working. It's got passive income, all that stuff. That part of our industry is dead. Okay. Network marketing's not dead. Don't get my words wrong here. But the old narrative is dead. You can't go in and build a business, build it once and you'll have money for life. We obviously know that's not true, just with what happened to Modere and some of the other companies. So don't go down that path. Instead, look at where the person's at and what they need. What type of business are they looking for? Are they somebody that wants to build a big team? Some people are. Then address that with them. If they're a person that says, look, man, I just want to work a little bit and make a little bit of money, then show them how to do that. Don't knock that, okay, at all. It goes back to, I'll use an example. I am really good at investing. I am lousy at investing in Forex. And one of my dear friends, we go to church together. Matt Ward has tried his best to show me how to do that, and I just can't do that. So I would do lousy in a Forex type of company because that's just not my forte. Well, make sure you know what your people need, what they're going for. This is why a lot of the new companies, I think, are going to a membership-based uh, program where they've got a lot of different stuff that's underneath them. We're going to talk about more of that because that is a new trend inside of the direct sales industry is the memberships. And underneath that membership, you might have a product, you might have education, you might have travel, all kinds of stuff. I'm telling you guys this as we close out the newscast because I want you to understand if you want your business to grow in 2025, then understand the whole gig economy is growing in 2025. You need to be prepared. If you're a company owner, you need to be looking at, hey, how can we become an omni-channel company where we're marketing our products through different channels, we're offering different products. Longevity may be the OG when it comes to the omni-channel, but now we're seeing this expand all over the place. So pay attention to what you see. Okay, there's great stuff going on in this industry. There's great stuff that is going on in the economy if you know what to look for. But numbers, there's this old adage that they say numbers don't lie. That's probably true, but numbers can be manipulated to tell the truth that you want it to tell. And that's what you've got to remember. Don't get into that fear mongering. Don't get into that political rhetoric that comes out from either side. Pay attention to what's going on in your economy. Pay attention to what goes on your main street, and then pay attention on what goes on across the globe that you have a piece of. You can't change the whole world, but you can change a piece of it. Go out there and do that. Live well and finish strong. I'll see you next week on the newscast.